Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nen.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about bottled cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Tonight, businessman recalls violent attack but is not deterred from investing in Fiji. Police waiting for elections framework before planning logistics for the polls. And alarming drowning figures can be reversed. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The Health Minister has slammed the Bula Festival Organising Committee for dishonestly using the Nandi Hospital's name to raise funds. Dr. Neil Sharma says the festival has failed to fund a single project at the hospital, despite claiming to do so in their annual fundraising drive for the last few years. Chanel Sivan reports.
The Nandi Hospital has broken all links with the very organisation that has helped build it over the years.
Bula Festival has always been a sore thumb as far as Nandi Hospital goes. They used to fundraise money on the name of Nandi Hospital, but nothing really eventuated. And the fundraising which the hospital did towards the Bula Festival was more than what was received by the hospital. As a consequence, we have broken all links with Bula Festival.
Relations between the hospital and the festival organisers are at an all-time low. The charity was born in 1960s based on the need to raise funds for the hospital.
Since then they have been donating funds to the Nandi Hospital for whatever funds they raised, and they did a lot of things for the Nandi Hospital. And it was happening all through until last 5 years that we saw it wasn't happening, but they were using our name. So we said, excuse me, you guys are using our name and we are not getting anything, you know.
However, the Bula Festival Organising Committee says the statement made by the minister is unfair, considering the significant contribution it has made over the years.
They have directives from the minister and from the hospital board that Bula is not to step foot into the Nandi Hospital. That was directive from the head, so I don't think it's fair on our side. We've worked hard. We are voluntary workers. We give our time to raise funds for Nandi Hospital, for the people of Nandi.
The last project carried out by the charity group was fencing of the hospital in 2011, which was not completed. The Bula Festival Organising Committee claims it has given millions of dollars to the hospital over the years. Titilia Vuataki says the committee was stopped from entering the hospital grounds after relations soured between the two groups when the hospital board couldn't provide the audited accounts in 2010. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
An Australian who started a new business in Lami 3 months ago is the latest violent robbery victim. Edwin Nunn reports 2 premises in the small township were targeted by thieves over the long weekend.
Nikos Genis was rudely awakened at 3 a.m. on Sunday. 3 armed men standing around his bed.
I told them where the money was. They said, show us. I opened the cupboard. I gave them the cash box. They said, this is not enough. You must have thousands. Tell us or we will kill you.
Genis lives on the top floor of his cake factory in Nukuatu Street, Lami. He'd never imagined he'd be the victim of a violent crime that threatened his life.
They tied me up, face down, and they were threatening. They brought a hammer and a screwdriver. They were going to drive it through my ear, you know. And they said to me, tonight, white man, you will die.
Genis believes there were 5 men involved. 3 entered his room and 2 kept watch outside. That wasn't the end of the ordeal for this businessman. Unable to find any extra cash, one of the assailants became extremely violent.
Then they got a bed sheet, they wrapped it around my neck to strangle me. And just as I was about to pass out, one of them who was more compassionate stopped the other one from, keep going.
The cake factory wasn't the only premises to be targeted. About 24 hours later, 5 a.m. Monday morning, this Chicken Express outlet behind me was also broken into. The 2 locations are only minutes apart, but we can't confirm at this stage whether the 2 incidents are connected. Thieves got away with smartphones, tablets and laptops, which were on display in the restaurant. Police are investigating the two incidents. Spokesperson Ana Naisoro says a team is following some leads. Naisoro adds there haven't been many reports of businesses being targeted in Lami. For Guinness, the attack has done nothing to faze him. He says for every criminal, there are thousands of good, hard-working Fijians who make this country a great place to invest in. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
The Fiji police force has for the first time achieved all its performance targets. They completed all 8 key performance indicators set out for the last quarter of last year. But Acting Police Commissioner ACP Ravi Narayan told his officers today they can still push for better results. Apisalome Dhoka reports.
The Fiji police force is delighted with its performance last year.
Our achievements during this fourth quarter are commendable, considering the challenge of resources that we have encountered. Taking a look at how we fared throughout the 2013 policing year, I am pleased to report that we have improved in most of our critical areas.
There was a reduction in complaints and disciplinary offences by officers and reductions as well in all types of crime. There was a major decrease in crime against women. 2,115 cases reported in 2012 dropped to 1,903 last year. Crime against children also reduced. A major achievement is the detection rate, which was 70%. Road fatalities also reduced. Overall, last year, crime reduced by 10%, serious crime by 22%, crime against women also decreased, crime against children went down as well, and the detection rate was improved. This was great news for the public.
Well, I believe it's a great achievement because since the government has been investing money on them, and they've really been doing a great job.
It's good. It's really helping, the country, and will be less crime.
Kind of okay. During the festive season, I've been noticing a lot of cops doing their job. The wee hours of the morning, they've been doing their job in various places like communities and in the city areas as well.
While the Fiji Police Force has achieved a great milestone, the Commissioner is asking his officers not to bask in this glory. He has urged them to work harder and continue to push forward.
2013 is behind us, and while we have done well, let us not be caught up with our past achievements, but focus on how we can improve. We are an organization that can never say we have done enough. Expectations from the private and public sector, well as the government, will continue to grow, and we have to be ready to face whatever comes our way.
The police force has been challenged to step up its services to all Fijians this year. Apisalome Dhoka, FBC News.
After the break, major cleanup in the Central Division to reduce dengue fever cases.
Today FM is #1 here in Singatoka.
We love Today FM in Labasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM rocks in Sabah.
Lotto kasi they love Today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Labasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Police officers have been told to remain neutral and refrain from getting involved in politics as we move towards elections. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Acting Police Commissioner Ravi Narayan was stern and did not mince his words with his officers this morning.
If you want to associate yourselves with any political party, then Fiji Police Force is not for you. Our roles and responsibilities for the elections are clearly outlined, and we are to remain neutral at all times.
The statement has won approval from the public.
Being in forces like that, looking after Fiji as a government, I think they should be neutral in the performance of their duty.
Okay, that is the standard policy of the police force as well as the government. You don't get involved, not actively involved in any political parties. Although you are allowed to have your own opinion kept inside, nobody else knows, only you and your ballot paper.
They are here to protect the country, and they should be looking after the laws of the country. They should be completely out of politics.
Government has stated there will be around 3,000 polling stations come elections in September. Police are yet to reveal their security operation plans.
We will just be waiting for the elections office just to outline the legal framework or what is required in all the steps. And from there on, then we'll work from there.
FBC News asked Rusiati Tunrabu if the police has enough resources to man all the polling stations.
I cannot comment on that, however, we are preparing towards that. We cannot elaborate further in regards to that. As I will say, that we're just waiting for the elections officer to confirm all this.
While the force is planning its logistics for the September polls, it will also need to be well equipped to deal with its everyday policing duties. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
Death by drowning is increasing in Fiji every day. The Water Safety Council says this alarming trend can be reversed if there is more awareness of basic water safety rules. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
From last December to date, the majority of those who've drowned were females under the age of 5. Most of them drowned because they didn't know simple water safety rules.
People have a small swimming ability. They have the knowledge that they move their arms, kick their legs. But when it comes to a situation where the water may be deeper or there might be a current, those situations can change how a person swims, and having that lack of knowledge of what to do when in a danger, that can lead to a drowning.
Water Safety Council's Bronwyn Soko says most drownings occur in rivers as people are not aware of how swift underwater currents can be.
Unfortunately, swimming in a river always carries a danger because there are currents. There's top currents and undercurrents, so you've got to be aware of what the current is doing. And if you are swimming against the current, you will get into a lot of tiredness.
Well, I could say from the holidays, that's where we see most of them coming into the pool to learn how to swim. But the more numbers that we see that do learn to swim is coming from the school. When school starts, that's where the school program comes into place.
The Water Safety Council says people have to be aware of their swimming abilities, as this could help reduce the number of drownings in the country. The drowning toll currently stands at 3 compared to 1 for the same period last year. Vosita Kotewasawasa, FBC News.
An urgent dengue campaign has been launched to combat rising dengue cases in the Central Division. The National Health Authority says the areas are rife with a new strain of dengue.
Dengue cases in the Central Division make up over 80% of total cases nationwide.
To date, there are 904 confirmed positive cases of dengue fever reported. Of these, 766 cases from the Central Division, 101 from the Western, and 37 from the Northern Division.
The dengue cleanup campaign for the Central Division starts tomorrow. Residents have been asked to clean up their properties and remove any water-holding material for collection.
If we can remove or destroy these breeding sites, we decrease the number of mosquitoes around our homes and workplaces. And by doing that, we decrease the chance of contracting dengue fever.
We must change our attitudes and behavior towards cleanliness for our homes and the place where we live in.
We have not really taken care much about cleaning a compound because we've done it 3 times for 2 weeks in every year.
The dengue mosquito, Aedes aegypti, bites during the day, at dusk and at dawn. People are asked to be serious and take preventative measures like cleaning their surroundings.
Strengthening the community mobilization will not only contribute to reduce dengue fever mosquitoes, but will also improve environmental outlook of our communities as we strive for cleaner and well Fiji.
No deaths have been recorded in the dengue outbreak, but the Minister of Health is not taking any chances and is taking all necessary steps to stop the outbreak. Mikolonga, FBC News.
For the next 2 months, Fijians will be able to register births at no cost. Attorney General Said Qayyum announced an amnesty period at the Register of Births, Deaths and Marriages for anyone who has failed to register a birth. The 2-month amnesty begins today and ends on the 14th of March. Said Qayyum says it's important to have this information for development.
Now, in the Bainimarama government's effort to ensure that we have proper record keeping, proper data, to be able to help government to plan, to direct resources, to provide social welfare, to provide assistance, it is critical that people are actually registered.
He's also confirmed births, death and marriage offices will be open late and on Saturdays during the amnesty to encourage more Fijians to register. Sports time now, and Jamie, what's the latest from Rugby House?
Well, Jackie, the FRU is standing its ground with the recent IRB ultimatums, saying it will maintain its sovereignty. There were some other bold statements from the FRU board today, but all in all, they hope to patch things up with the governing body sooner rather than later. We'll have more from Rugby House after the break.
Bula FM
Golnga elambasa Bula FM number 2 na sere.
Andul talita kana borong en Bula FM number 2 na sere su.
Kau buat itu geraki au rebot itu nistima au ndau talita kana borong en Bula.
Bula bina Fiji Bula FM number 2 Singatoka.
Bula bina era roga Bula FM number 2 Tikonga.
Bula FM number 2 en sere.
Mirchi FM is number 1 in Singatoka.
और किसके सुनिए यार हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबा साथी
I love Mirchi FM, it's so hot. देखे में लाल लाल खाए में हाय हाय टांगी टांगी तावा में Mirchi FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town Singatoka, love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is number 1 in Suva. It's hot.
हम इंग्लिश लंबा सा में रहता है तो क्या बताइए मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है
Mirchi FM, bon julum julum.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The Fiji Rugby Union has set a target of May to get its house in order and perhaps regain the suspended funding from the International Rugby Board. The union today further said it will not have terms dictated to it on how to run its affairs, even if it means the directive is from the IRB. Indra Singh has more on the saga.
The Fiji Rugby Union board says it will not be told what to do.
So the FRU board stance is this: we should have the right to agree to be a member of the board or observer at the board. And number 2, we should have the sovereign right to determine who it is, not dictated to by IRB.
The union has lost over $3 million in funding from the International Rugby Board, a huge amount in anyone's books. But this hasn't deterred the FRU.
The challenge for this current board is to make sure that FRU is financially sustainable. That without grants and without sponsorships can we still pay our core operations, our staff, our chukuru. And how do we do it? So right now the focus is get us back to financial viability and then work out long-term solutions for financial sustainability.
The union also did not approve the IRB's condition to have an interim director on its board.
I think the issue of a board director being present at the watch call was one, this board was never consulted on that. Number 2 is the person that was appointed was not agreed to. So I think it borders on what IRB dictates and the sovereignty of FRU.
The question now may be what is being done to get back into the good books of the governing body.
It's not cheap to run FRU. It's big business. And we hope that with the support of sponsors, support of the people of Fiji, it can move forward well. We are more concerned with putting in place processes and procedures that are following good governance principles.
Times are hard for the union, but with an expected announcement of a multi-million-dollar sponsorship on Friday, the FRU is confident of a fresh start. This is the statement that the Fiji Rugby Union has taken out today, trying to justify why the International Rugby Board has suspended $3.3 million worth of funding. What happens next is anyone's guess. The general consensus from the union is that it can sail its own ship. But can the captains on board steer it to a safe berth without any assistance? Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the FRU will now have to fork out the salary for its high-performance unit manager, John McKee. This follows the suspension of funding from the IRB, which covered the high-performance unit costs. The FRU says McKee will continue with them despite the setback.
With regards to John McKee as HPU General Manager, that's one of the things, once we've got our processes right, we will go back to IRB to ask for his...
So for the moment, he won't be with FRU?
He's with FRU. His contract is contract with FRU. So yes, we are obliged to pay him.
And as this dispute continues, the upcoming Las Vegas and Wellington tournaments will be the turning point to improving the IRB series standing of Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan and his men. Ryan is wrapping up preparations with one final day of training tomorrow before announcing the final 12. Tsale Ndawdakdako reports.
A week is all that remains for Ben Ryan and his men, who are chasing a second series title for the first time since 2005. It was back to training mode for the boys, and Ryan is starting to get a fair idea of what his lineup will look like.
You know, they're getting on well off the field and they're working hard on it, so just ready to get some more training under our belt, name the team tomorrow, and then off we fly to America.
A few players were nursing some niggling injuries, but Ryan is sure that all players are 100% fit.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed if after a hard week last week nobody was complaining of blisters or bruises. I made it hard on purpose. It's good fitness in the bank now for our upcoming tournaments. We'll still have some hard sessions this week as well, and then we'll start to taper down our training when we're in America.
This time tomorrow, the country will know the final 12 that Ryan believes can further Fiji's standing on the IRB points table. Tsale Ndawdakdako, FBC Sports.
Fiji's top outrigger canoe club, Tafanga, has sent 13 paddlers to compete in the 25th New Zealand Nationals, known as the Waka Ama Sprints. Blessed with 4 Fiji reps from last year's Pacific Mini-Games, the Guy Morris coach side arrived on Sunday at the unique setting of Lake Karapiro in Hamilton. When the regatta heads into day 4 tomorrow, Tafanga 12-year-olds Lauren Inia and Sylvia Hesai will compete in the women's V1 500-meter sprints. Apart from the V1 races, Tafanga also fancies its chances in the V6 men's and women's 500 and 1500-meter races. Navo's opening game on Sunday against Rewa in the Fiji Sun Skipper Tuna National Football League has changed the venue. From Thompson Park, it will now be played at Ratu Thakambau Park. In other games this weekend, Suva plays Lambasa on Saturday, while Lautoka battles Nandruga on Sunday. That's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The Fiji Vanuatu telecommunications cable system will be ready for operation from Friday, following the successful completion of laying the submarine optical fiber cable. The 1,250-kilometer cable system cost about 50 million Fijian dollars and will directly link into the high-capacity Southern Cross cable. Acting Chief Executive George Samisoni says this will enable Vanuatu businesses connection to the global telecommunications highway via the USA, Australia, Asia and Europe. Samisoni adds access to high-speed internet should be a life-changing event for the people of Vanuatu and opens the door for e-commerce, e-education, e-health and e-government. Local company Pure Fiji has obtained ISO GMP, International Organization for Standardization Certification for Good Manufacturing Practices. Pure Fiji, which produces several award-winning natural body care products, says it's proud this certification has been added to the list of many awards it has received. This prestigious award is granted after several inspections have been made by overseas-based ISO auditors who make special visits to conduct their on-site audits. ISO is a quality management system designed to help organizations ensure that they meet the needs of customers and other stakeholders while meeting statutory and regulatory requirements related to a product. Well, Weather time now in Jen. At least today I'm happy I brought my umbrella Wellingtons to work.
Good to know, Jackie. When the Met Office said we'd have showers in the capital, they weren't joking. A wet Wednesday as well for Savu Savu, but like Suva, I'm sure they're pretty used to it by now. Temperatures see Nandi join Ba on 34 degrees, while Lautoka and Lambasa are on 33. And I'm sure the real reason most were at the bank today was just for the aircon. More clouds and showers tomorrow, so take a packed lunch with you to work because it might just rain right around lunchtime. If you hate getting up early to make your lunch, conditions should be fairly fine tomorrow morning, meaning ample time to buy something before the rain starts. From Suva Harbour to Savu Savu, here's another equally stunning photo. This was captured on camera by Sheikh Shazim, who was kind enough to send it in to Citizens Eyes at fbc.com.fj. I tell you, Jackie, you'd think some of the photos we get were actual paintings.
That's so true. Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. Our top stories tonight. Health Minister accuses Bula Festival organisers of dishonesty. Lami businessmen undeterred despite violent attack, and major campaign to prevent dengue outbreak. Time for the poll question. We're asking, are people being serious about fire safety in their homes? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's news for tonight. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Ito singa to kung tali ta na parong na radio Fijuan na station yal mo to.
Ako na poro ko na tali ta. Mandaw tali ta gini na parong radio Fijuan.
Kitongo isu untuk tali ta na parong na radio Fijuan station yal mo to.
Kito tali ta na radio Fijuan. Na radio Fijuan ento tali ta nga singko ka.
Station di Matino Pinatia na radio Fijuan. Pokoknya yan.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandu mai biti na bonga ni BNN.